Wow. Well, thank you to my amazing community. Everyone in this room who chooses every single day to build something better than what we inherited. Thank you.
Yeah.
To be nominated as Community of the Year, Leader of the Year is deeply humbling. Because leadership in this community is not theoretical. It is lived. It is hard and sometimes risky, but it's always rooted in love. And I need to say this plainly. It is not lost on me. I'm going to try not to get choked up in this part. What it means to stand here as a trans leader right now in the times we're living in. At a time when trans people are being legislated against, debated as abstractions, erased from institutions, and told to step quietly back into the margins. This nomination is not symbolic, it is defiant.
Yeah.
It says that trans leadership is real, that trans voices matter, that we are not just a trend. We are not going anywhere. You cannot erase people who are building community.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. You cannot erase people that are building community.
Yeah.
You cannot silence people who lead with integrity. And you cannot push into the shadows those who have learned to stand in their truth.
Yeah.
I stand here tonight not just as grateful, but resolved. Resolved to keep showing up, to keep building bridges, to keep expanding what leadership looks like. Positive masculinity now began with a question that wouldn't leave me alone. Believe me, it was quite crazy for a trans man to write a best-selling book about masculinity.
Yeah.
What if masculinity isn't toxic, but the cage we put it in is? For decades, we've handed boys and men a script that says, don't cry, don't need, don't soften, don't fail, don't be vulnerable. And then we're shocked when disconnection, violence, addiction, and isolation follow. A few years ago, after one of my workshops, a man stayed behind. Everyone else had left. He was a big, tough construction worker, strong and capable. He looked at me and said, I've never told anyone this, but I'm exhausted from pretending that I'm not scared. He said that's the first time he had spoken that out loud. That moment wasn't about curriculum. It wasn't about permission. It was about being fully human. It was the heart of the work that I do. Expanding strength, making room for empathy, helping people take off the mask without losing their dignity. And my work with Seattle Police Department as the chair of Seattle's LGBTQ Advisory Board for Seattle Police Department. And I teach in the Before the Badge program for all new recruits have to go through my gender socialization class, where they learn about gender socialization and the trans experience. That is creating change on a systematic level. It's sitting at tables where trust has been broken, naming harm without walking away, insisting that safety must include dignity. Real leadership is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about staying in the room when it's very uncomfortable sometimes. Choosing dialogue over distance, courage over ego, and growth over defensiveness. As a martial artist of over 50 years and a retired U.S. karate team member, I've learned that the strongest stance is both grounded and flexible. Too rigid and you shatter, too loose and you fall. Community requires the same discipline. rooted in justice and dignity, rooted in accountability, but flexible enough to evolve. This nomination belongs to every young person who's trusted me with their fear, every man who's dared to unlearn harmful scripts, every LGBTQ person who continues to show up when it would be easier not to, every public servant willing to examine their power. Accepting this reward, I accept responsibility, the responsibility to keep building, to keep challenging narrow definitions of strength, the responsibility to keep standing visibly, even when that feels risky. And I want to dedicate this to my papa, who was a great masculine role model to me. He taught me, live your dream, you can do anything you want. And he also told me, surround yourself with people who encourage you and believe in your dreams. And I'll never forget that. I wish he was here to see this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Papa. And because leadership does not shrink in difficult times, it expands. Thank you.
Yeah.